Page 4, I have been here last time in Florence, and I thought about, we have even had already 2005 effectiveness evaluation, and it was very new. We got money, and women's drinking was taken up so much. That's why we perhaps got that money, and it's told in English about that. But we have still had, I have been so long and developed and taken all the new ideas I have heard, tried to be there. So we are very few still left in our organization, Naistenkartan, or Women Together Against Addiction, something like that. We get financing for that because women have started to ring 6 times during about 40 years more than while men have doubled their drinking. And now they have found that the families drink. We have after European Union, the laws were very liberal, and people have started to drink at homes, but which was very forbidden earlier. You know, European Union and free, and other cultures you have much freer. So there have come very much problems, and they, of course, doctors and nurses and all the health, we try to use it, but still it's difficult because this traditional, we have had even prohibition law in 30s in Finland, and it was total catastrophe. But now they have this health speak, don't drink that you die, you get cancer, and every day they find you. Of course it is so, but I don't think that we can answer to these problems in this meeting. So I have been very much involved in our self-help. And it's not, we use peer support, but I also have understood this role of professional in our program or in self-help. And I have learned it here, and also why, because I have gone through many women's self-help. It has been with all kind of, haven't been recovering addict or something like that. I am not aware of, and nowadays I don't take at all. So this is the organization I have told, but this Novat program, I say it's program, it has its roots in United States. We have known this, have been aware of AA a long time, at the 80s already, but then in United States there came this Women for Sobriety, which said that they don't take attention to women's needs. They are traditional men, like the picture you showed, and they take all the power, they talk all the time, and nice girls start nursing those men, etc. I don't know the quality of that, but of course in Finland we have, they are very important too, in our country too, but there are other alternatives. So we have this official side, that's why we get money, but I have used this self-help, peer support, self-help ideology in this group. It is 3 semesters, nearly 1.5 years, so it's rather long. Then we have because we have so big demand, we have developed, after I was visiting United States and Ed Madara's the place he was working, I applied money for our internet, because in Finland it has been very developed earlier, this Nokia, and we had, so we got this money because it was so new, and we have now 4-5 month program online, and the basis comes from that 3 semester. But is it course or is it training? It's not therapy, but it has much therapeutic elements. And we have now personnel, we have about 3.5 part-timers. I'm whole-time because I'm director. Someone is always guilty for financing things. And I have myself also gone through this program when I started working there, so I could learn much. So all the professionals should go themselves to a group process, because it learns so much. And then after that, no, it's wrong. And it's, I say early support, because women don't go to traditional treatment centers. It has increased, of course, but those are mostly very marginalized men who are homeless and have problems with alcohol and drugs. So we have very little for this preventive, and this preventive talk is like, don't drink, you get sick, or everything like that. So we need also individual possibilities to come in. Like we also, I told already, we use this social marketing a lot, and we tell about us. Even yesterday evening I got a call and I answered for a newspaper late yesterday night. They try to, they always say the report have come and they know that the women who have professions, they drink also in everywhere in OECD countries. Perhaps in Greek I have asked so much, but they have started to drink and they have problems. But we say that this is a program for women who want to grow as a person, who feel exhausted, dependent to something, or tipples, drinks, or something like that, open to all over 18. And I have studied these theories, and United States feminist psychologists have developed these theories a lot. I have had a possibility to study those. I've done therapeutic work when I was young, but I decided not to become a therapist. But social work, I can use this. And then, now I decided, because it has been so difficult to get the financing to go on my studies at the university. I'm a master's study in social work, social policy, sociology, social psychology, and I've gone on my study as adult, and I have made between master's and doctorate thesis, there is a lesson thesis, and there came a program that it was a bit easier to come back to university after 20 years, and I made that licentiate thesis, and I decided to make about this program. Also page 5, it's told about that licentiate thesis, so I don't want to take it now. You can read all that. And I told last time about it. And it was the research issue, how the peer support, because there comes inside the program, I'm involved 3 times perhaps, or our staff. At the beginning, we teach them a method to be in a group and use this. We have also topics, but we are very certain and for women important topics, like how you defend yourself in your everyday life, that you are not a nice girl and say always yes, and exhausted and angry at home and people and so on. These kind of topics for 54 weeks, but in practice it makes 1.5. And of course, to be in group process, you must have rules, like AA have very strict rules. You must have kind of this method have this group, to be in group, that you learn to listen yourself, because in theory of addictions you don't know yourself, you have bad self-concept. If you drink too much, you are a bad woman and a mother. So they have very much feel guilty and shame. And they learn to sit with others and listen to themselves and others. Everybody has like AA groups their turn to speak, and they must learn to be there. And inner empowerment, and they're also about the results, because feminist movement also talks about empowerment. Nowadays social work, even business life, talks about empowerment. But feminist movement, I used a model, Swedish politologist Professor Bengt Starring, who I found the theory basis in that licentiate thesis, and that's the point. I shall soon take something. I have still 10 minutes. Do I have 10 minutes about? Yes. He said that in relation to equality between women and men, not between women and men, but to other people, between individuals in society. We can talk about and analyze society as paternalistic model, empowerment model. Naturally, we know all paternalistic model is important. You can all read, so I don't use time. You can understand that. Bureaucracy, expertise, orientation, these are important. Of course, we need reports, conference, research, patriarchs, and directives and all this stuff. It's important. But nowadays, if we talk about empowerment, there is the word power, this local, as we have heard here, that the basis of self-help is bottom up, not upside down. I still think we are a lot in our countries paternalistic model when we think of dividing money and so on. It has come worse during last years. Somehow the tradition, so much problems, so control increases and so on. So this Swedish Kvinnoforum feminist organization, or it's not perhaps feminist, we even don't use that word in Finland at all. It's a too negative word in our culture. We say gender point of view, women's point of view. But the research, that's why I use it in this connection now. We should have this local level. So they found that, developed a model and make a divination to that, what's empowerment. And it's very big difference to, I come very soon. I have only 10 minutes. I must choose what I talk, and this is perhaps a bit theoretical, but last year also, I take now something new, because I must tell you about that. I have English-speaking abstract a lady from Lapland University. She's not gender person at all, but it came a doctoral thesis concerned how people become helped, while the process of being helped on the forms of agency through the advocacy empowerment approach. And she was very critical. She is critical that empowerment, like social work theoreticians, I can't say the word in English, Malcolm Payne, and they say that empowerment leaves too much for the people who come to the system. So we must have this kind of advocacy strategy, and we must have dialogue between empowerment and the advocacy. So this, now I come back to this power. They had this Kvinnoforum. They used this Starin's ideology and the power. We can think power if we come to groups, that we have power within, power with, in a group, power together, synergy, then overpower, how we say, when you have dominant power, traditional upside down. It can be leadership. Of course, they have positive and negative sides. Then we can have power to effect on my life. And like addictions, they are subjective or inner processes, but they are also, of course, objective at the same time. And people can be disempowered if they have some problems in the objective area of action when they are working, world of working, no work, they can feel bad, or though they get support, they can subjective feel very bad. And we must develop this ultimate area of action and get this power, all the power for the group and self-directed group work. Lian Mullinen and Ward are known researchers. They have written about these things, but not so much as I now speak in the self-help context. I think this Liisa Hokkanen, who made this research last year, you can, some of you, if you want to read it, the abstract says that we can have this inner empowerment. It's not enough at all. That real empowerment, we don't use in Finnish even that word, empowerment, because so many say that it's only empowering as a person, as individual. You should have these relations, context, you must have concrete change, and changes must happen in your life. That's real empowerment, and it must be moved on to the other areas of your life. I didn't know when I started my licentiate thesis about 2005 or 6, that there is so much definitions for this word too. But I think it could be one of the basic theories of empowerment in self-help groups, because these women, I shall write a scientific article. I don't have time anything else, but I'm so motivated still to do my job, and before I die I have that time left, that this empowerment, taking this power category and this power in relations and context and inner, that dialogue, inner and psychosocial, perhaps could be something like that, must be together, but you can move to your everyday life. Like I personally, we collect feedback every day, we get so much from women, 80%, 75 to 82 goes through the whole program. We don't have drops out, and we must have much bigger demand also on internet course. They really want to come to on internet Novat group, we say in our language. So we have connections, these therapeutical elements, training elements, educating, and the talk to others is early support. Women don't say they are alcoholics or something like that, not ever. They say they are exhausted and they are tired for their everyday life. Perhaps their close husband drinks or something and feel bad, and their teenage have drug problems. So I think you must influence on women too, not only as mothers. And this self-help ideology, I think we have succeeded to bring it in our program, and it works. So it can be one idea. Perhaps I have now said everything.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions or remarks?
I confuse the concepts totally. But I think early self-help is also early support for men and everything. That crisis orientation is better for this peer support and this bigger or of course self-help, they have crisis, but if you have acute crisis, you must have peer support from those patients or professional events. But long crisis, you have these other areas you must work with yourself. You are dropped out. Am I too complicated? No one else? Yes, you ask no. No. If someone's interested, this doctoral thesis to read at least. She sees that the peer support is a category under voluntary work, and I don't agree. When I have gone further, I shall write to her my critical points, but I haven't had time so far. And it's very theoretical. She has written even one article in English. It is article degree thesis is composition of articles, and she has written in English one article. Yes. Okay. Everybody else tired.
Thank you.
Yes.